I'm ready.
Good stuff. Thank you, Simon. Hello. Please just state your name for me and what you do here in the department.
I'm Simon Pamphilon and I lecture in design and media law and ethics.
Great. When were you a student here in the journalism department?
I arrived in 1984
Okay.
and I was here for 5 years.
Okay.
Well, 4 years and then a year where I had an extended DP, but I was working for Eastgate News Agency.
Okay.
But I was still a student.
Okay. Okay. What is the first memory that comes to your head if I ask you about your time as a journalism student?
As a journalism student as opposed to a student, I think one of the things I remember, well, it had nothing to do with being a student, but just arriving on campus and walking down to the student union, what's now the Steve Beaker building, and bumping into Ray Hartley, who was staffing a then rodeo, the student newspaper, recruitment table, and New Sus, actually no, it was New Sus table, well, but I can't remember, but anyway, I knew him from school, and he said, how's it, Simon? You're going to join the student newspaper? And I said, sure. And in fact, I came here to do a BSc.
Okay.
But it was a BSc Information Processing, Info-Proc, which was a combination of what it was, maths and computer science and economics and accounting. It was like a weird degree, and I did it for a while. But I started working on the student newspaper, and I was in res, and I was working on this accounts homework. And I mean, this was after a month or so, and I had a file that was 3 inches, 4 inches thick. And in a bit of pique, I threw it out my door, then went down the stairwell. And I thought, I'm not picking that up. Following day, I went to see the student advisor and said, I want to change my subjects to English, sociology, political studies, and journalism.
Just like that.
No, changed on the last day I possibly could.
Sure. Now, Simon,
The
what?
best decision I've ever made.
Okay, there you go. And why? Was it the student being part of the student press and being in that sort of space that made you decide for sure that's what you want to do, or were you just?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No. I mean, I joined the student newspaper the day I arrived here.
Yeah.
And started going to meetings and working on it.
Sure.
No, it definitely had an influence.
Did the journalism students, when you walked in, did you immediately get a sense that this is the journalism students, that's what they're doing? Were there in any way stood out from the other students at all when you first walked on campus? Or was it sort of you just landed there at student press, heard what they were doing, got excited, and that was that?
They were just really nice people. You know, the left in general on campus at that time, they were just really, really nice people. I mean, some of them may have been fake nice people, like Olivia Forsyth, but yeah.
Now, Bridget's book said your nickname. What was this nickname and why and how did you get it?
Simon Pamphlet Bomb, yeah. Because I spent my life producing media, basically. I was a terrible student. I hardly ever went to any lectures. I was forever in the student union, and if I wasn't working on the student newspaper, I'd be doing stuff for Newshouse, producing pamphlets, posters, silk screening, bromiding, half-toning photographs.
So you love the practical side of it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, in the well, I wonder if I'm. Well, actually, maybe it's a good question. Is this the light table?
It's one of the light tables we used to have in the radio office. Yeah.
Now, if you had a say just for fun, if you had an object of memory that you could transport to that could take you right back to 1984 and 1985 when you were a student, what would that object be?
Well, that light table is one of them.
That light.
My DNA is in that light table. I have cut my fingertips off while working on that light table, and by way of background, in those days we used to typeset our body text on electric typewriters, and we'd have to figure out a way to get it into columns. And in fact, the daisy wheel we had in the typewriter was, I think, 11 point or 12 point or something. It was too big for a newspaper type. So we had to reduce it, type it out, and then reduce it on a photocopying machine. And then we had to take that column and cut it out with the art knife. We'd cut it on the light table and stick it down with glue, because we didn't have glossy paper and wax machines, so we'd use just actual glue, which was tacky. And we'd do our headlines with letraset, transfer rub down lettering. And our photographs we had to do on a bromide camera. We'd have to half-tone them to turn them into dots, working on the original photographs, and also scale them. So everything had to be cut and then stuck down. And if you made a mistake or you wanted to change something, like if you try to pick up a piece of copy and put it somewhere else, the glue would tear, the thing would, invariably you'd have to go and retype it, and then re-photocopy it, and then cut it out again and stick it down. So paste ups were a hell of a business. They were tiring. I mean, you look at that newspaper now, you think it looks absolutely terrible. But we were very, despite what it looks like in retrospect, we were very careful with it.
Yeah.
There were times when just late at night, early in the following morning, having gone 2-3 days without sleep. You're holding a piece of paper, a metal ruler against a piece of paper, cutting with an art knife, and easy.
Yeah.
At that point, easy to slice off a fingertip or two.
Yeah.
In which case, page is covered in blood. You have to toss it away and start again.
Wow. Now, Simon, it's interesting you say that looking back on it, and when I've looked at some of those rodeos, I think they look fantastic. They've got something, it's almost like that gives it something else, maybe just because I'm now in this time and it's all mostly digital for me to look back on it, it looks quite beautiful and quite fantastically well done. I mean, it's so alternative, completely.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me, I sort of felt, I wish it was still had that little bit of an edge,
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next question that I want to ask you is, as you explain now this process and the very hands-on and the, everything that could go wrong and what it all involved, do you think we've lost something with the digital, this touching with the newspaper and really creating it, where now the process is a bit different?
I think the student press has lost something, but I don't think it's a result of digitization. I think it's a result of professionalization. It wasn't something that happened just with the advent of desktop publishing.
Mm.
I think it's just a change in the way that people organise on campus and the way they view things. I mean, I was quite dismayed actually when I came back here. And I was asked to sit on a panel interviewing people for positions on one of the student newspapers. And it was like this very formal kind of, in my day, we basically, people who worked on the newspaper would elect the people they felt should be occupying particular portfolios. And we tried various things. Like one year we didn't have an editor. We just had people who were responsible for particular portfolios. It wasn't a great experiment actually, because there were I think there were 9 or 10 of us who were pretty good at what we were doing and taking responsibility for the different areas, and we didn't train up people for the following year. So in fact the following year some of us had to stay on. Although we should have moved on by that stage and be editors again, but this time we were editors.